As we examine the Phoenix real estate market, a major topic today will be interest rates. And why not? Because they're all over the news. We'll explore how they affect both buyers and sellers. Mortgage interest rates have definitely affected buyer demand, making homes more expensive, pushing potential buyers to the sidelines, and making home ownership nearly impossible for some. Now, it varies by location, and all cities are different, but some have seen the buyer demand reduced by 44%. Now, remember that for every 1% increase in mortgage interest rates, it raises the loan payment by 12%. For example, the 30-year principal and interest payment on a $400,000 loan at 5% interest would be $2,147. If the interest rate goes up to 6%, a 1% increase, the principal and interest amount goes up to $2,398, an increase of $251 or 11.7%. Let's call it 12. So imagine what has happened in the last year when buyers saw interest rates go up by 3%. What few anticipated until we were in the midst of higher rates was the effect this would have on sellers. Well, many sellers will turn into buyers. And what they found when they put their buyer's hat on and put a sharper pencil to the math was they really liked their interest rate and, moreover, the payment that goes with it. They found themselves locked in or handcuffed by their low rate and payment. Look at these figures for homeowners with a mortgage payment as reported by Redfin. As of the last quarter of 2022, 82% of mortgage holders have a rate below 5%. 62% have an interest rate below 4%, and 23.5% have an interest rate below 3%. Wow, those are some pretty tight handcuffs. So let's talk about the number of homes for sale or listings. Since October of last year, listings have fallen almost 49% for the overall Phoenix area, and since the start of 2023, homes for sale have fallen 36%. Now, this is for the Phoenix metropolitan area, and it's important to understand that each city will be different. For example, let's look at the percentage drop in homes for sale since the peak in the fourth quarter and the first of the year. Since the first of the year, Gilbert homes for sale have decreased 53%, and since the peak in 2022, in the fourth quarter, they have dropped 69%. For the city of Phoenix, since the first of the year, the decrease has been 39%, and since the 2022 peak, it's 57%. For the Queen Creek Santan Valley area, we saw a 35% drop since the first of the year and 47% since the height of 2022. Scottsdale saw a 15% drop in the listings since the beginning of 2023 and 33% since the peak in 2022. Mesa saw a 43% drop and 73% since its peak in 2022. The most significant was Chandler, that showed a 58% drop since the first of the year and 74% from its peak last year. Now, I would put you to sleep. I've gone through all the cities, so let me know if there's a specific city that you're curious about, and I'll get you the numbers. Now, a quick question. Are you learning anything? If so, please click the like and subscribe buttons and hit the notification bell so you're kept in the loop with good real estate content. And we all want to know about prices because there's always abundance of speculation. Case in point, this article was reported in January of this year. So what happened since we're 7 months into the year? Let's find out. The median sales price in the Phoenix area peaked in May of last year at $480,000, and we saw 7 straight months of decline, then bottomed out in the first quarter of this year at $415,000. Now, this represented a 13.5% decline from the May high last year. We now stand at an increase of 5.7% year to date. That's the opposite of a crash. And I have numbers for individual cities, so if there's something you want, please reach out to me. The low inventory has kept prices from falling. Now let's switch and talk about the Fed funds rate. The increases are an attempt to bring down inflation that has gotten out of control, as we've all experienced, and has been a driver in the rise of the interest rates. The thing I find amusing is how hindsight is so clear, but how the crystal ball becomes really foggy when it's used as a lens to predict the future. May I give you an example? Over 2 years ago, the prospect of inflation was brought up. It didn't pop up overnight. There was even a hearing in Congress in July of 2021 by the House Committee on Financial Services about monetary policy and the state of the economy. Wow, that sounds really high level. In case you don't remember, let me help jog your memory. This is Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell giving his opinion on what would happen with inflation.
If we do see that inflation expectations are moving up or inflation is on a path to remain well above our goals and risk of setting us off on a period of high inflation, then we'll use our tools to guide inflation back down to 2%. In the end, it will be transitory, and virtually all forecasters do believe that these things will come down of their own accord as the economy reopens.
You may say, Gordon, what's your point? My point is the age-old adage, often wrong, never in doubt, was very applicable 2 years ago. So just in case you make a prediction and it turns out to be off the mark, you're not the only one. The Fed funds rate is the overnight rate at which big banks loan to each other, and the Federal Reserve has increased this rate 11 times in the last 12 meetings, with the last one being in July of this year. And they've done this to bring inflation under control and are watching economic indicators such as employment, the Consumer Price Index, and the Personal Consumption Expenditure Index, and inflation itself to decide if the Fed funds rate should be adjusted. Remember, the mortgage interest rate is more closely tied to the 10-year and 30-year bonds, not directly to the Fed funds rate. One way the market has reacted to higher interest rates is seller concessions. Seller concessions have typically been used to address repair issues and assist buyers with closing costs. Historically, that number was around 35%, and the concession amount was around $4,500. In January, it peaked at 50% and has been trending downward toward normal levels. But what also happened at the beginning of the year, because of higher interest rates, is the amount of concessions has been averaging around $8,000, indicating that a good amount is being used to help offset higher interest rates by helping buyers with a 2-1 rate buy down or paying discount points to reduce mortgage interest rates and the payment. So the takeaway is, as a seller, you may see buyers ask for assistance in lowering their interest rate to make the payment more affordable. Now, the buyers are not being greedy. They're just trying to get a payment that works for them in light of these high interest rates. So in summary, buyer demand is down due to higher interest rates, down 44% in some cities. Homes for sale have decreased because low interest rate mortgages are keeping homeowners locked in to their current mortgage and payment. Prices have not collapsed as some were predicting. In fact, a 5.7% increase year to date. Seller concessions to help buyers with affordability is now more common. In the next 6 months, we'll see how the higher Fed funds rate impacts inflation and mortgage interest rates. Now, I anticipate there will be a lot to review in 6 months. And if you have any questions or need more information on any specific city, either buying or selling, contact me at 480-326-8571. Thank you.